Yo, 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 what's going on? This is NRW, where nerds rule the world. I am Kuya P, and I'm with the homie Guro Francis Serrano, aka Big Boy
What up?
Escrimador. What's up,
What
brother?
up? What's up? What's up, brother? Happy New Year for everybody who's listening to this. Thank
Yes,
you very
sir.
much for again watching our talk about our love. We talked about Karate Kid, and now we're talking about the revitalized franchise called Cobra Kai.
Yes, I am super excited, man. We wanted to set this up right before the new season 3 drops, and stay tuned
Exactly.
for that because me and the big boy are gonna break it all down once the season
Heck
3
yeah.
drops. But we're gonna refresh you real quick with our review, our take on season 1 and 2. And I
Absolutely.
can't tell you, I'm so excited to do this with somebody that knows the martial arts, the head of Filipino martial arts FMA school. Make sure you check him out, my boy Google Francis, the big boy. What's up, bro?
Thank you. Thank you. What's up, man? So again, like I mentioned in the previous collab, like Karate Kid, excuse me, Karate Kid was the thing that made me fall in love with martial arts because it was such an awesome movie, and because of that, I just fell in love with the whole Karate Kid series. I even loved the one with Hilary Swank, and I even loved the one with Jaden Smith as well as Jackie Chan. But Cobra Kai is something that just brought back the eight, like not the 80s because like I'm not that old, but it brought back the love for it. It brought back to it, and they're using it's like they're using the same ingredients. They're using the same ingredients, but they're also making they're definitely updating it kind of stuff, and we're definitely going to talk about that. So the first thing we definitely have to talk about when we're talking about Cobra Kai is Johnny. Okay, he is now the lead in this show. He plays John, of course, so it's played by William Zabka, but it's Johnny Lawrence. He's the one that's he's now the main story of this. Now, the one thing that the first thing that I noticed about Johnny is that he was like after his brief cameo on Karate Kid 3, I believe. He I felt like he was stuck in a time bubble. He just did not go anywhere. So it's almost like he blinked and it was it was the 2000s. It was the 2000, I think 2017 when this came out. But that's he just kind of it blinked and all of a sudden he's there, right? You can notice like he still had like a box TV, kind of stuff, and he drove his old car kind of stuff, as well as the that he still had cassette players, kind of thing. But one of the most important differences for me was that how he was, like he just didn't even know anything that's happening around the world. The way he described his website, www period Cobra Kai period com, all lowercase. Like who talks like that? He had a flip phone kind of stuff. So he was definitely still stuck in the 80s. Well, in comparison to Daniel LaRusso, played by Ralph Macchio, he's now a successful businessman. He honors Mr. Miyagi by like everybody who buys a car gets a bonsai. By the way, the bonsai is definitely something I would probably just get by itself, but he honors them, and then he still practices the bonsai trimming. So that's just the first thing that we definitely have. I'm like my phone's blowing up like crazy all of a sudden.
They
Sorry,
know it's the
guys.
big boy.
I know. So they know it's a big boy. And then, but anyway, so that's like the first thing. And then of course the story shifted. Johnny in the Karate Kid series was a student, and so was Daniel, and they had John Kreese as Johnny's teacher. And by the way, like they couldn't come up with another name. Like they ran out of names in Hollywood. They had to call him John and Johnny, but whatever. And then of course there's Mr. Miyagi as well as Daniel as being the student. But now it flips where now Johnny and Daniel are now the instructors, and now they have their own protege. And dum, Daniel's protege is actually Johnny's kid. So it just kind of throws it out there. So again, the Cobra Kai, the series, the writers are definitely using the whole, teacher, student versus student, teacher versus teacher. But now they flipped it where the teachers or the students are now the teachers, and now it's just kind of cross pollinating, I guess, in the lack of a better term. So that's one of the things that just so interesting about the way Cobra Kai is being made, and the way every martial arts nerd like myself and every nerd out there just loves about it. And ultimately, all as well, is that Johnny, who used to be the apex predator in his high school days, is now the alpha. He's now the president of what looks like to be a crew of Lambda Lambda Lambda. For those who don't know that reference. But now he's like the president of the Lambda crew, and and he calls them all nerds, but then he still puts them a part of his tribe, which is something that's really amazing. I don't know, Pat, what do you think, brother?
Yo, yeah, I was letting you bring it all in, man. Yeah, I love it. To me, and we said this during our Karate Kid trilogy review recap. Amazing. It's a classic for in every reason. Even returning to it, recently for our review, they still stand the test of time. Hands down, some of the best characters we've seen in cinema, some of the best stories in cinema that everyone can relate. So relatable because the heroes aren't just shiny and glossy. They have their failures, they have their blemishes as well. They're not super polished, so everyone can relate with that. And they've continued that on. So I need to double check and look at these writers again, because I now need to reinvest some of my time to just checking out more of their material, because these are hands down some of the best cinematic works with the Karate Kid trilogy, and now with the Cobra Kai, whoever the writers are on this. So shame on me, because damn it, these people are handling business, and what we've been presented with the Cobra Kai season 1 and 2 is just more of the greatness that they have. I love that they flipped it. I love that we're now focusing on Johnny Lawrence. It's great to get that perspective, and now to see him have his redemption arc, if you will. And this truly is that's what this show is all about. To seeing that other side and how they can all come together, and how some of our heroes turn into assholes, which AKA Danny Lawrence. And I'd like to think that, and I think you and I talked about this in the Karate Kid trilogy. There was a review. There was a YouTube thing that was put out on how Daniel LaRusso was also kind of the bully in it. And having rewatched it again, you can see some moments that, like, yeah, bro, you shouldn't have. You kind of asked for that. So especially you pointed it out in when my man Johnny was just kind of smoking his stuff for his glaucoma.
Right.
He didn't need to put that hose in there. Like, bro, you set yourself up for that. Be the bigger man. Don't do that. You don't need to do that.
Right.
He set himself up. But
well, I mean, the one thing is, it's like, it's one thing to be being attacked, but then the moment you throw back, then then it's all bets are off, kind of stuff. Now you're asking for it. Now, being bullied, no, I'm definitely not an advocate of that, right? Definitely not an advocate of that. But I mean, and then the way that they kind of surrounded him, definitely not an advocate of that. But but one of the things that went during the Karate Kid series is that Daniel always had the fighter's heart, but never the fighting skills that came along with his heart, right? Johnny definitely had the skills, but never had really the heart of it. But then again, this is where Cobra Kai is switching things around, because now Johnny's got the heart. He's the one showing these outcasts, these people who are disenfranchised by their high school society. He's the one picking. He's the one that becoming their sensei. Their instructors. So it's just the writers 100% have done this out of pure passion, right? They love the original series, they love the original stories, and it's kind of like the way they did Creed, right?
Way they did Creed, another one done really well.
Done absolutely very well. I mean, it's just like they didn't rewrite it. They continued the story, and this is what Cobra Kai is. They're continuing the stories. They're not redoing it. They're not reimagining everything. They're continuing the story. And this is what I love about Cobra Kai. Now in season 1, we're just discovering how Johnny now is going to be the sensei. How Johnny's going to be the sensei into this program. And he just, and then he's learning how to be a businessman. He didn't know about those at the very beginning, he didn't know about all those guidelines and those safety things that he needs to do. Then he didn't even know how to do advertisement. He still did old school flyers, man.
Oh, yo, let me put a stamp right there, though, in regards to how Daniel LaRusso evolved into this businessman that he is. To me, they again, salute to the writers. They took away some of the great nuggets of the character character from the previous 3 films. To me, the
Right.
biggest thing, having rewatched part 3, when we see that Daniel LaRusso wanted to help out Miyagi and start this new bonsai shop. And
Right.
he went and did everything, spent his college money to get this place. When he first opens up the place to show Miyagi the place, the way he describes how we can change this, it may not look right. It was complete salesman 101. And to me,
For
that was a
sure.
nod to
Yeah,
what we would
you know
later
what? I
now
didn't think
see him
about
as a
that.
car salesman. The
Yeah.
writers 100% saw that, I think, as well, how
Right.
they had their
Right.
Daniel
You're
LaRusso
right.
sell the place to Miyagi from that scene was like a car
Absolutely.
salesman. 100% well done, and they
Absolutely.
carried it all the way through to this, which just made it so much more gratifying for me.
Right.
So shout out again to the writers, man. Like I said,
Wow, man.
beautifully done.
I mean,
Beautifully done.
one of the most beautiful moments that we saw in the Karate Kid series was that when it was Daniel's birthday, and then first gift was the gi, and then second gift he takes him into his yard and says, "Pick one," and he's like, it was a sea of all these classic cars that Mr. Miyagi restored.
Dude, yeah. I didn't even think
Right?
about that. That's another nod to maybe make him
Being
fall
a
in love
car
with
salesman.
cars. You know?
Exactly. It
Yeah.
was. Now that you brought that up, I'm like really thinking about that. Like now he's a car salesman who gives away bonsais when you buy a car. Him and his wife actually was talking about how the bonsai business failed, and he goes, "No, that was a solid business plan. We just got ran a bunch of bad luck." And I think he was definitely referring to during Karate Kid's episode, the third Karate Kid, where they were attacked, and then Mr. Miyagi had to sell the truck. That kind of maybe that's a nod to that. But yeah, if you notice that he bought the gift that he gave was this bitchin' classic car, right? And it convertible. I'm like, whoa, my teacher never gave me that. Master Stoney, if you're watching, I wouldn't be mad at you, sir. I wouldn't be mad at you if you decide to give your boy here a car. It could be a classic. I'm down with classic, sir. Just saying, just throwing it out in the universe, sir. He's laughing at me right now. He's laughing at me right now. So I can hear him laugh right now. So
So just
but yeah,
amazing characters within this series that you
just the
both love and you
character
hate, and
yeah,
that's what they kind of carried it on with the new Cobra Kai seasons.
yes, absolutely. And then now again, when you see the flip of the script, Johnny's now the poor guy. His first student is named Miguel, who's by all intents and purposes mirrors Daniel's story.
Oh yeah.
Dad nowhere to. Daniel's dad passed away. Well, Miguel's dad seems to be, middle of nowhere. Oh, little nugget here. Internet rumors, absolutely no. I don't know if this is true or not, right? But one of the stories, one of the rumors is that Miguel's dad is actually Silver, Terry Silver.
Oh,
That's the
whoa.
rumor, because like one of the things the mother said was like I fell in love with him when I was 18, but I didn't know the kind of evil man or the bad guy that he was. And remember, Terry Silver was dumping crude
Nuclear
waste.
waste and yeah, toxic.
So
Yeah, that'll
I
be
actually don't know if
interesting.
that's true enough. That would be
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
Again, so that the writer's already dropping these golden nuggets, like, yeah, pick this up, kind of stuff. So, but yeah, you see the mirror. It's like the apartment almost looks exactly the same. And then now Johnny was kind of like the repairman, right? His job at the beginning was he was a handyman, just like Mr. Miyagi was for that, right? So it's just like these writers are just a bomb, man. This writer the bomb. Now, the one character that's really not part of the original, like the way that what you call that the way that they are the way that they did this was Robbie, right? The Robbie is the new kind of like the new kind of new character they're developing, right? He's Johnny's son, but he comes from he has a lot of problems. He did a lot of broke the law kind of stuff, but you can see him mirror a little bit about Johnny, where he's got his mom, is kind of a deadbeat kind of thing, but Johnny's mom actually did the best she could, while Robbie's mom, he's doing his thing. So then Robbie starts working for the LaRussos, hoping to to actually find out if they can break into the and steal some of the stuff in the LaRusso auto lot. But he turns out to be actually a good guy, and he turned and he decided to become a better person. So he's the out of all the characters, of course, I feel that he's definitely the newest. They infuse that with a new story, with a new backstory to this existing, like, pantheon of great characters already that's been built in. Of course, you have the, Sam, the daughter and the son of Daniel, and of course Daniel's wife and mother is also there. Now, that was one of the few things that I had kind of like a negative response from, because at the very beginning, when Daniel's mom came back and was in one of the episodes, the mom and the wife were fighting, and I'm like, come on, that's cliche, right? That's absolutely kind of cliche, and I just felt like they just, I mean, again, much kudos to the writers, but I just feel like that could have been explored even deeper, kind of stuff, and not make the original, not to make the cliche choices. But at the end of the episode, they actually became really, really close, and then Sam, the daughter, had something to do with that. But I just felt, the reason why I just felt that was a little cliche is because Daniel and his wife has obviously been married for many years now. They have they have two kids. One's in high school, right? So you mean all this time they haven't worked their shit out as a mother and a mother-in-law and daughter-in-law kind of stuff. They haven't worked their shit out, and it just took one afternoon of them shopping for them to get along. I thought that was a little. I thought that those character development was a little weak, but can't have everything, I guess, right? So and then I love the fact that Daniel's son is just so into video games, and Daniel doesn't understand that, and that's again the conflict between old generation and the new generation. You're never, like with, especially big people, you're never gonna make anything with the video games, video games and nothing. You should be a nurse. You should be a nurse, right? So there's that conflict that I love about that. So I mean, again, there's just so much, like, it's like an onion. Like the deeper that you peel the layers, the more potent the onion gets, and the story just continues to get better and better.
Yes.
So yeah,
So
go ahead, brother.
so for season one, man, let's break down. Well, let's not break down the whole entire season before we turn to season two. Just uh, who's your favorite character within the reintroductions in season one of the cast that you followed the most, and who are you kind of championing? Because to me, there's love hate isms on both sides. Like you see Johnny in some, you see Daniel and some, but then there's also, we want the redemption of Johnny and how Daniel's a bit of asshole. It's like it's love hate relationships with everyone.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's hard.
Okay.
Like I go back and forth every episode, but because they play it so well. Again, it's just kudos to the writing that they take us on journey. So it's like sometimes as a reviewer, like to how like you review something for like in regards to it, and like you kind of lend yourself towards a specific character in their journey. Right. But for me, I'm just enjoying the fucking ride, yo. It's just like I love what they're doing. Like I don't want to make a prediction, because you know what? If the way they flip it just blows me away, and I'm like, oh no, that's even cooler. I love how they do that.
Absolutely. So if there was one character that I fell in love with season one, it would have to be one of the supporting characters, Hawk. Hawk is like, wow, dude. His transformation, and this is what the power of martial arts really does, right? You see people. I've had students that are timid and shy that come in, and then then they build their confidence, and then that's great. I love seeing that,
But you got a little too cocky when we get to season two.
Exactly. When you get to season, that's why I said I was very specific. He's my favorite in season one. Okay, that's why I'm very specific. I said season one. But the thing about with Hawk was he was, because he had a cleft lip, right? And then he had surgery, and then they put there was a bigger scar on that. Now I don't know what's the percentage of that happening all the time, but I don't know, man. I think you could have found a better plastic surgeon in LA. Just saying, man. Just saying. I don't know, but he, regardless of that, he definitely had that, that scar on his lip, right? And Johnny was just kind of berating him, right? And then I'm like, now as a teacher, I may or may not make fun of my students. I don't want to get hit by a lightning bolt. Jesus is gonna shoot me down right now, but I do make fun of my students, but that's because that's out of love. Johnny, of course, makes fun of him because his idea of that's how you toughen him up, right? And I think that has a lot to do with his upbringing with his stepfather, right? So you know, the way he just kind of attacked Hawk about it, but then Hawk, I mean, came back as a badass, you know, with the mohawk and the tattoo that looks like a sticker, but whatever. But it was, there's no respectable tattoo artist will ever tattoo you when you're under 18, by the way, because they can get sued so much, right? So, but basically, that he, you know, he just, I mean, he just kind of evolved into this badass, right? And the way that he transformed, like he, you know, nobody's gonna treat you like you know, nobody's gonna treat you like a victim unless you allow them to, right? That's the main thing there. That's the main thing there. Now, I'm not saying that bullies don't antagonize people; they absolutely do. But you have to learn how to stand up for yourself and say, no, you can't call me that, mom. No, just kidding. You just can't call me that, you know, kind of thing, right? But it's like that's the thing that so that's what Hawk realized. Like Hawk realized that, yeah, I'm not a wuss. I'm not a punk. I ain't no punk bitch. You know, and then he came out as a Hawk, and you know, and then who calls him Hawk first? His sensei, Johnny, started calling him Hawk. Right. And then so it's like now Johnny's no longer calling him Lip or Scar, right? He's calling him Hawk because that was his goal. He was trying to, like, you know what, people are calling you like that, then flip the script, do something about it, right? Do something. And I do agree with that. There's so many people that just blames the world for what's wrong with their life instead of doing something about it. There is a lot of people that and there is unfortunately we are in a society now that it's everybody else's fault, not mine. You know, we still need to be able to, now don't get me wrong, the thing of the struggles of the people of color, our African American brothers, they're real. They're absolutely real, right? But many of them, not many of them, but many people who complain about how bad the world is will never be the one doing something about it. You know, and in this particular, that's what Johnny's trying to teach them. Like, you don't like what's happening? Well, only you can change that. I can't change that. Only you can change that. And that's what I think all of a sudden you can see some of the wisdom that comes from the Cobra Kai motto. Strike, you know, strike first, no mercy. Strike hard, strike first, no mercy. Thanks for putting that in the background because I didn't remember it. But but that was like, now you can kind of see the philosophical journey of what Johnny's trying to do. He's trying to break you down and to build you back up by, you know, slowly but surely. So I absolutely love that. So if there's a character that I connected with on season 1, that would be Hawk. What about you, Pat?
All right, Johnny Lawrence, man.
Of course. Oh, he's
Like,
awesome. Yeah.
I want to see him, and we saw that towards the end of season 2. I don't know if we were going into season 2 yet, or if we're still talking season 1.
We'll get there. Yeah, we'll get there eventually. But yeah, go ahead.
But yes, just him finally finding himself. He knows the sins of his past, and and again, like when we talked about during the Karate Kid trilogy, I didn't realize that he was the one at the end of part 1 to hand Daniel the trophy. So it's like, to me, that's when his transition kind of started in a way. But then due to his circumstances that we don't get to see, because we didn't get to see him because we went to immediately to Okinawa in part 2, we didn't get to see life after the event. Well, we did actually. I take that back. We did in the opening of part 3, where at the end of the tournament they're walking out. He gets in the chokehold by Kreese and just again being bullied. You know, but we don't get to see Daniel in his relationship. So now you know, we know by virtue of the return in Cobra Kai, he's still stuck in his old ways because he just didn't have the right family structure around him. And you know, and it became what it is. We find out that he has a kid. But then that kind of was a failed relationship and was never there for his son. So that's why him and his son don't get along too well. So it's just, you know, you want to, I don't know, I guess that it's that pulling for the little guy, you know what I'm saying? You want to see somebody, especially, you know, you feel bad, you know what I'm saying? No one ever should be a bully. Johnny was a bully at one time, but now we want him to redeem himself and become a better person. And so I'm enjoying that. And then
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
And I'm sorry. And then his neighbor that he takes under his wing. I forgot, what's the character's name? Miguel. Yeah. Yes. I love that we have Miguel, his character, and his parents.
Mhm.
well, him and his mom and how he takes care of them, and then he was bullied,
Mhm.
and just I feel so bad, well, so we have, I like Miguel, but then we have the son that deserves love too, but then he's kind
Yeah.
of a jackass too. But as is Miguel, though, Miguel's a dumbass too. And
Right.
then and then we have Daniel LaRusso's daughter, who is kind of like a wild woman. He hit, did not taking ownership for her craziness, hitting Johnny's car and fucking it up, and then he, which led to all this chain of events with him now having to
Right.
go to the dealership and confront
Right.
Daniel for the first time
Right.
again. And
Right.
it's
Right.
just, again, like I said, it's hard to review this because I just love the back and forth with these characters, and I'm just been along for the ride. So let's ride into season 2, my brother.
Okay, but before we can get to season 2, we have to
Okay.
definitely talk about the All Valley turn under 18 All
Oh
Valley
yeah,
tournament,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
which is what they were building up to, right?
yeah,
And again, Daniel had one student, while Johnny had multiple students, kind of stuff, right? But you see, John, that's when he starts pulling away from Johnny pulling away from John Kreese, right? He didn't want like when he went to the committee to reinstate Cobra Kai to be part of the tournament, right? Because they had a lifetime ban because of what John Kreese did. He said, "I'm not my teacher, It's a whole different Cobra Kai. I'm a whole different person." And he showed that. He absolutely showed that. Now, did they still play dirty? A little. It's gray area, kind of stuff. It's within that gray area. But at the end, he still did the right thing, right? He still did the right thing. And then, so he went over, and because it was against, I mean, we all knew this. It was gonna be Miguel versus Robbie, right? It was gonna be Miguel versus Robbie, because they both like the same chick, which is Daniel's kid, Sam, right? Wow, shocker. It's about a girl again? No, no way. It shouldn't be, right? It shouldn't be, right? But yeah. So so they both like the same girl, but they really wanted the respect, right? And ironically, here's the thing. Here's where the writers are freaking genius again, right? Robbie is trying to get his dad's respect, Johnny's respect, while Miguel is trying to get Daniel's respect so he can date his daughter, right? I mean, it's like, come on, man. The story, the cross thing there is just, to me, is such an amazing thing. But at the end, of course, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen this, I'm telling you right now, stop listening right now. But spoiler alert, I'm gonna give you 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Miguel won. Miguel wins at the end of season 1. But you can tell that the battle is not over, right? The battle's not over, and there's still gonna be a continuation of the story. And that's why it was such a great cliffhanger, because at the end of season 1, somebody comes out of the shadow, like the devil himself, Mr. John Kreese comes out, and you're like, dumb, dumb, dumb. How many times is this guy gonna die and come back to life? He keeps dying and coming back to life. He died and come, but he looks pretty good, honestly. Fairness to the actor Martin Coe, brother, you still look pretty good. Mad props to you. You still look like somebody I'm scared of, right? Not now, because I'm a martial arts instructor now, but not now. But before, I mean, if I didn't, I'm like, yeah. But yeah, no, much love. Martin Coe was in this one. John Kreese coming back. Revitalizing his character. Absolutely amazing. I only wish that Pat Morita, Mr. Miyagi, was still alive, and I would have loved it. And then it was also in this season 1 where we finally learned Mr. Miyagi's first name, and we learned it because of the gravestone, right? The tombstone that they had for Mr. Miyagi, and I can't pronounce that. I'm not even going to try and disrespect that, but we finally learned his first name, and it was a beautiful thing. You can totally tell that Daniel sought his advice, he sought his wisdom at all times, and then he's like, gotta find balance, and that was the one thing that Mr. Miyagi always taught him, like, balance is the most important thing. Balance in life, balance in work, balance with family, balance in everything. So, but yeah, John Kreese comes back, and now and then, so what does that mean? Is he going to take over the Cobra Kai business? Is he going to take over? What does that mean? And how's the relationship between Johnny and John is gonna happen? And that's where we roll into season 2, brother. Go ahead, take it away for season 2.
So I just want to say, for the locations again, bringing back the love that we know again for this franchise. the settings for where Johnny Lawrence lives, the dealership
Mhm.
where Ralph, even though there wasn't a dealership in the first films,
Right.
but his home, and then the place that will eventually be the new, you know, place that, you know, where they would practice their karate. And
Right.
but just I really enjoy the Cobra Kai uh place where they have their training center, because it's right next to this like 7-Eleven style place. And just
Yep.
the settings are just really well done, and like you can feel that, because they're like everyday stuff that we all kind of go to. So the
Exactly.
locations are just
Absolutely.
beautiful. And then uh the throwbacks to did they, I think they took it back to the original apartment building too. We got to see
Yeah.
that just
Right.
as a location.
Right.
But just the
They
set
did. They did.
pieces, just you feel this universe is real. uh
Well, for sure. For sure.
it, I just love that.
I mean that the one episode where Johnny and Daniel actually went to, because like Daniel's cousin burned John's car, so now he's got to give him a new one. Luckily, they own a dealership. So, convenient much, right? And so they went to Daniel's old apartment, and they went to a bar, and then that's when they started talking. And you're like, are they gonna be friends now? Because that I wouldn't hate that so much. Are they gonna be friends now? Of course, they ended up not being friends, but at least you can see that they were actually seeing that the guy across from them is actually a lot like them. I mean, they were talking about how John Kreese was like a father to Johnny, and of course, Mr. Miyagi was like a father to Daniel, right?
Hmm.
And then, but of course, Johnny goes, "Oh yeah, at least he didn't try to kill you in the end and break your trophy." It's like, yeah, there's that. Okay, you win on that one, Johnny, kind of
Yeah.
thing, right? You win on that one. So, but it was definitely, yeah, it was definitely a throwback. I mean, the apartment building was still there. The one thing that he definitely pointed out, wow, there's water in the pool. I never swam in that.
Yeah, yeah,
Now
yeah.
they finally have water in the pool, kind of stuff, right?
So
And so
yeah, I
it's
love
really
that
cool.
this world still kind of lives in a way. And like I
Oh
feel
yeah,
like the
absolutely.
next time out of
Oh,
LA, I want to go visit these set locations to just peep it. Yeah, that's kind of like my thing
bro,
too, by the
you
way.
know what?
Whenever I
When
go
you
out that
come,
way.
yeah, if you can, we'll go. We'll both go. We'll
Okay.
both go. We'll both go. I mean, hopefully they're still open. Okay, are we if we're gonna talk about the universe still existing, one of the most awesome thing was, where did Miguel take Sam for a date?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was in the same golf, like the miniature golf place, right?
That's
And then he got.
right.
I mean, it's awesome, dude.
Oh
It's
shit. I didn't
absolutely
even think about
awesome.
that.
Yeah.
Is
No,
it
I
it's
mean,
the same spot?
well, I mean,
Ah,
I don't know if the exact same spot. Maybe they have to,
but
maybe
very
the original
similar.
spot, but it was a
Hmm.
mini golf place kind of stuff. But I think it is the same spot. I mean, we'll have to research that a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I think it's the same. But dude, it's like he brings his date there. I mean, that's where Daniel took, Daniel and Ali went there, and then according to Johnny, that's where he took her too. So so it's kind of like, okay, kind of stuff. So it was pretty cool. But then that one scene where Robbie was trying to mansplain karate to Sam, right? So, and then Sam all of a sudden flips him over. It's like, it's Sensei Sam.
Yeah.
Ooh, that was pretty hot. But admittedly, that was pretty hot. That was pretty hot. So,
All
but
right,
yeah.
so
So I mean,
season two, man. Basically,
yeah,
we have Martin Cove, John Kreese back into the picture, and
right.
is he no longer the evil person he was? Johnny and them kind of, are a little bit apprehensive at first, but then they kind of click again, and in so many ways. But then the colors aren't fall having the apple hasn't fallen too far away. He's still kind
Right.
of the same guy, and
Well,
towards the end,
so
he flips it on him. Go
yeah.
ahead, man.
I mean, there's a lot of reason. I think there's a reason why they use Cobra as their symbol for their school, because
Hmm.
a snake lies down and waits to strike at the right moment,
There you go.
right?
Yeah.
So that parable about the scorpion and the and the fox. I think the
Okay.
scorpion was trying to cross the river, and then I think forgive me, internet, if I get this wrong, but the fox was saying, like, I'm not going to carry you because you're going to sting me, right? And he goes, well, if I sting you, then we're both going to drown, so why would I do that? So the fox goes, yeah, that makes sense. So they're crossing the river, and then the scorpion stings him. He goes, well, and then as they were about to drown, the fox says, why did you do that? Now we're both going to drown. And the scorpion says, because it's in my nature, right? And then so if the nature of Johnny not Johnny, excuse me, John Kreese is a
Mhm.
snake, is a cobra, then he's lying in wait, kind of stuff, right? And you can tell Johnny is really doing his very best to forgive his instructor, right? Because what I love about this is that, I don't think he actually said it, but he was personifying it. You can't just judge a man by just the one mistake that he made, right? You gotta judge the man by his whole. So out of everything that he did, even though he did like almost kill him, he did also save his life from his stepfather.
Yeah.
And that's just a bond that's just really hard to break.
Yeah.
This is a bond that's really, really hard to break. So he was trying to give a guy a second chance. He was
Yeah.
trying to give a guy like, okay, hey, you've done a lot of things for me, but this is my school now. I'm the head sensei now, not you. You can be
Exactly.
an
Oh yeah.
advisor. You can be an advisor. You can be a technical guy. And you know what? It's John Kreese. Martin Cove, man, kudos to you, brother, because you have definitely personified this antagonist.
Yeah.
You were like Machiavelli, just whispering in the czar's ear, just kind of whispering into the students' ears about, like, yeah, your teacher's really not that good. I'm the original Cobra.
Yep.
It's like,
That is so true, man. Part of change and part of evolution and
mhm,
redemption is Johnny to evolve and accept and understand the person that oppressed him the most, which was John Kreese's character. And so, bro, you
yeah,
said that great.
exactly.
Yeah, that's what he
Thank you.
needs to do in order to evolve into the next to see that difference as well. And
Right, exactly.
mhm,
I mean, the thing about what's so hard is that he wants to be. You can tell that Johnny wants to be a better person. He wants to be a better man.
mhm,
He is really striving to be a better man. Now he's kind of dating Miguel's mom, kind of stuff, right? He really wants to be a better man. He's trying to do that, but he can't do that while hanging on to the anger that he had for John Kreese,
exactly.
right? I mean, season one ender where Johnny student beats Daniel student, even though that's his own son. He finally, we live through our students, right? We live through our students, and we're like, I mean, for example, one of the most proudest moments that I had as an instructor was when my students won the world championship. I myself have never won a world championship. I've always wanted to, but I was I don't have the skills for it, and I accepted that. I absolutely accepted that. But what I saw was when my students achieved it, it's kind of like I achieved it too. And I think that's where Johnny finally got his redemption, that he beat Daniel in one thing, right?
Mhm,
But then now the other thing that was holding him back now. Remember, like I said, at season one, Johnny was stuck in a time bubble, right? He's now emerging from that. Like he was like a cocoon. Oh man, I hate to use this analogy, but it's making sense to me. He was a caterpillar. He's now bursting out of the cocoon and becoming this beautiful little butterfly.
very true.
Y'all look
Very
like
true.
y'all look
Yeah.
like ants from way up here. So kudos for those people who got that reference.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like, yeah. So now he's trying to evolve, but then now he's like, okay, my only other gripe now is my old teacher. I want to let this go. I want him to be, if I can change, maybe he can change. And then unfortunately, he couldn't. He absolutely couldn't. And in the end, I don't know how he even did this, because apparently, there's leases that nobody signed, kind of stuff, right? That John
Yeah.
Kreese took over the school. I'm like, no. I mean, I'm like, I would have protected myself from a business standpoint. I would protect myself that nobody else is going to own my school but me. Nobody's
Yeah.
going to own the merch and anything like that but me. Kind of like Disney that way, right? But I'm like, nobody's going to steal this from me. This is mine. I mean, you can take students. That's unfortunately a common occurrence within the market. You can't steal my business as well, kind of stuff. So that was a weird character. That was a weird development, kind of stuff. But we'll see how it plays out in season 3, which is again coming out tomorrow.
Yes.
So I'm like, we're really, really excited about it. Really, I'll be like, counting down 10, 9, 3, 2, 1. Okay, Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai. Let's play Cobra Kai now. Oh, it's midnight. It's Cobra Kai. So
All right,
so
so let's
that's
talk
what.
about some of our favorite moments before we get to the end of season 2 to lead us into season
Sure.
3. Um,
Okay. So go ahead, brother.
I just, again, like I said, I've been living for the moment, and I'm sorry to everybody watching this review. I'm just relishing in just the greatness that it is. It's a fun ride, but
It's a
just
fun
some of the
ass
key
ride.
moments, just seeing the flip and just enjoying the flips of the characters from
Right.
what we knew about them into where they are now. Seeing Daniel and LaRue and Johnny, still kind of, they didn't like each other from the,
Oh, they're
they,
never gonna
they
forget
were
this. They're
always
never gonna,
rivals, but then having them try to find a way to be friends is
yeah.
just so fun to see. They're out on
Right.
this combined date, Johnny with Miguel's mom and Daniel with his wife, but
Yeah.
seeing sort of like that bond start to formulate. It's just beautiful, man. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting older now, and I'm like all about love and changing my life
Well,
and things like that. But it's just these
well, I
great
mean,
moments that we're seeing is just I love it.
absolutely. I mean, here's the thing. In martial arts, we're trained to, especially we're trained to fight, right? And the one thing that a lot of people don't understand who are non-martial artists is that the more you fight, the more you appreciate, like, love, lack of a better term, love, right? So one of the to me, one of the most iconic moments in any fighter's career, right, is the moment that they fight somebody who's so good, that's so good that they almost lost, or maybe they even did lose, right? But then walk across the ring and give the person a big ass hug, because it's like, brother, it's like you look at that person and you hug them and you're like, man, I know the journey you took to get here, and then it's the same journey that I took to get here, right? This is a road that not many people has taken, and you and I have walked this, and only you and I can understand this. There's a certain bond that happens. You might, I mean, it's just like there's a certain bond that happens with the guy that you're fighting. You feel that it's an exchange of energy. It's an exchange of just kind of like, you're giving him your best kind of stuff. And if you lose, you lost to somebody who's great. You lost to somebody who's great. And
Yeah.
again, that was most, to me, was a very important scene in Karate Kid 1, when Johnny handed Daniel the trophy. He said, "You're right, LaRusso, you're all right." But it's just there's a bond there. But of course, their teachers have I mean, not their teachers, excuse me, but John Kreese has definitely created that wedge for them, right? That absolute wedge for them. And then that's what made it hard. So there's that conflict that they always have. But in the end, especially in that bar scene in season 1, they have so much more in common. And then when they went on that date, the commonality is there. But of course, there's just too much bad blood that you can't just completely erase it.
Yes. So
So,
new characters that we got in season 2.
right.
Let's get into
Absolutely.
that now.
Okay, let me pull that up just so I can be sure.
And
Go ahead,
actually,
brother.
there's a name of the one character that is one of my daughter's favorite actors. She was on a show on the Disney Channel, but now she's the blonde haired one that is
Yeah,
the rival to LaRusso's daughter.
yeah.
It's killing me. I'm trying to find it as we're
Peyton,
talking.
her
But
name, the actor's name is Peyton List, and her character is
yes,
Tori Warburg.
yes. So Peyton List,
Yeah,
never knew. Well, she was kind of like this, highbrow, not highbrow, but just like
she was a
kind of
tough
like
chick.
a Nicole Paris Hilton type girl on her
Right,
previous show. Now she's
right.
kind of a
Okay.
kick-ass,
Yeah,
street smart girl, which I'm loving. It shows range for
right,
this actress. So shout out to
right.
Peyton List being just a great actor. Um,
Great job. Great job.
and
Great
and
job.
just the character of her, and then but then she kind of is kind of a bad girl who wants to be nice in a way, but then she's still kind of there's some situations there that we're starting to learn. I just, again, these cast of characters, they keep on coming with it, and they're so well written. But
Right.
we'll get to the finale in a second. But just, she was one of the characters that I really enjoyed for this
Me too. Me
season,
too. Me
that
too.
was reintroduced.
Absolutely.
And Daniel LaRusso's daughter, her arc evolving a little bit
Yeah.
more, and
Mhm.
just the combination of them two on screen was just
Was
fantastic.
right.
And Miguel again, and the other young man who's
Robbie.
Robbie.
Yeah.
They're again just great young youthful characters. Like, I enjoy when the older are the characters we love, Johnny and Daniel, are on the screen, but then these
Right.
younger characters, I'm tuned into them. Like, I want to
Yeah.
see them,
Yeah.
grow and watch them grow. I feel like a parent, because I am a parent,
Absolutely.
and
Yeah.
it's like
Absolutely.
I like
I don't
seeing
think
them
you would, Ted.
learn and
So,
lose and fail and succeed all at the same time. I'm loving it.
right. I'm loving it. So the one thing that I pointed out to you before we started this was that there is, going, just to kind of recap back to season 1, that bar scene where Daniel and Johnny was talking about their former flame, Ali. she became a doctor and she married this guy with the last name Schwarber, right? And now Painless, the character that we are just talking about, her name in the show is Tori Schwarber. Now it hasn't been confirmed yet. This is still internet rumor, and maybe I'm connecting the dots. It's not even there, but there's I think that this is Allie's daughter,
Dude.
and then and again I'm like, wow, dude, these writers.
Yeah, bro. And as I told you earlier, when you mentioned that, if that comes true, oh my God, bro, they are killing the game. Shout out to these artists and writers on this, man. I'm loving it.
You guys are
thank you for bringing that to my attention, because I never thought of that. That would be would be amazing.
I mean, I think there's a reason why in season 1 that Allie's new last name, her married name is Schwarber. It's not a common last name. I mean, it's not like it's Smith or Aquino in Filipino terms, right? It's Schwarber, right? And then now this new girl comes in. Her name is Tori Schwarber. Is that a coincidence? I don't think so. Not with these writers, man. You writers are crack dealers, man. You got us addicted. Okay, you got us addicted.
For real.
I mean, it's just, now, one of my favorite scenes in season 2, and at the same time, just kind of like, yeah, that's never gonna really happen, but I still love it, was the big high school battle.
Oh, right? Yes.
The big high school battle. The finale, the big high school battle.
Let's get into it. Let's get into it.
Okay, so the martial arts was good. I'm not gonna lie. The martial arts was good. It was the fight choreography in this one was top notch. Kudos to the fight choreographer. It was great. The fight scenes was awesome, and it was really, really good. But where I have a problem with, there's no way in high school they would let you guys fight that long. There's no way. Yeah. In North Hollywood area, Los Angeles, get the teachers and all the the police they're not gonna let you fight that long. I'm sorry, but it's one of my favorite things. Don't get me wrong, I love the scenes, right? I love the fight scene. I love it, but there's no way. That's where you just kind of like, you guys take some creative license, and that's okay. You're artists. You're allowed to do that. Where you guys finally like, yeah, there's no way a fight would have lasted that long.
Yeah.
Absolutely no way.
And all over that freaking school. Like, are you serious right now? Yeah.
And then when Miguel fell backwards, it was like a scene from Lion King. It's like,
bro.
Bro,
and that's why I'm so highly anticipating season 3, because they did that to us. That was a like Avengers style, what they did right before Endgame. That was like what they did with this Infinity War with the snap. We were like, what the hell? What the hell? Are you serious right now? And they did that with Cobra Kai. And
absolutely, that's
why bro, I can't wait for us to dig into season 3 in all of its glory, because
so hold on a second. Leave it at the front door.
Did you see the trailer
I did see the trailer, and I did see the trailer, and you know what? Honestly, it's like that trailer, it has so much nuggets in it. Absolutely so much gold. I mean, you see that
I didn't want to see it though. I wanted to kind of enjoy the whole season, but I just had to. I had to.
Well, I mean, because that's when they were making an announcement. Like, we needed to know when it was going to come out, and they said January 8th. I'm like, okay, that's not that far from now. And Netflix, thank you for making it a week early. Maraming salamat, Netflix. I will renew my membership. Thank you very much. But you will still continue to get my $11.99. But yeah, thank you for releasing it January 1st instead of January 8th. We need this. The pandemic made us really, but so we absolutely were grateful. Maraming salamat. But yeah, I mean, I did see the trailer. I don't really want to talk too much about the trailer because it's less than 6 hours that it's going to be out there, right? So, but definitely, there's so many golden nuggets about it. You see, Miguel is in traction. He's definitely in the hospital, and his mom in the previous 2 seasons was very protective. Of course, that's her baby. He didn't even want to fight, kind of stuff. But yeah, to see that, and then I'm just really excited to see how season 3 is going to play out. We're going to see some old characters from the original Karate Kid series to be a part of this, as well as what is the connection between Tori and Allie, because it's season 2 cliffhanger. Like, it was like a Facebook request, I think, if I remember correctly. It's going to be there. It's just going to be amazing. These characters are just starting to be, come out. You know, we're starting to see the full flavor of these characters, and season 3 is just going to be absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. I already
Yo,
predict this.
yeah, bro. So let's finish it up here. Since we're getting close, we're hours close to
Hours away, exactly.
away from it, and I don't know how difficult it's gonna be for you because we're also because we're on New Year's Eve. We're actually recording this on New Year's Eve, so we're hours
Yes,
away from the new season
yes,
starting.
yes, yes.
We're already gonna be up. It's like,
I know,
man,
I know.
after this ball drops, heading over to Netflix sounds kind of, I
I'm
think
like,
you got a
like I
little bit of
said,
energy.
3, 2, 1, Netflix. You know,
You know.
I know people want us to say Jumanji, but I'm gonna say, you know, Jumanji Netflix. Maybe I'll do that. I'll do
So do you
that.
think you're gonna do that? Do you think you're gonna peep
Oh,
it after the
bro.
ball drops?
Oh, for sure, bro. I'm not sleeping tonight, man. I'm not sleeping now. Fortunately, my families are gonna celebrate New Year's tomorrow, not tonight, because my
Okay,
sister has to work. So I mean,
got
yeah, it'll be easy for me to just do that. So
it. Okay.
thank you, my family, for for scheduling it for tomorrow instead, so that I can watch Cobra Kai. I'm just so excited about it. I'm so excited about it.
So if you're up, I might tweet you since I'll be up as well,
Oh,
bro.
for sure, bro. For sure, for sure, for sure.
So here's
Yeah.
a question: what you saw the trailer without spoiling and giving stuff from the trailer, but what are you most highly anticipating, or who do you want to see return? We do know. I'll just say this: we know Tamlin Tamita's
Yep.
character is going to be back.
That's right.
Kamiko. We do
Kamiko, right.
know Sato's son Chosen will be
Oh,
back.
no, no, nephew.
Nephew will
Yeah,
be
yeah.
back.
Right,
But we
right.
also have which you now have me thinking about because you brought up that connection with Allie
Right,
with the eye and my girl
right,
Peyton List's character.
right.
If she returns and we have Kamiko, I'll go ahead and tell mine. If we're getting Kamiko, if I get Kamiko and Allie with the eye in a scene together,
Mhm.
holy shit. Cobra
Yeah,
Kai season 3, you've got me, baby.
yeah.
You've got me.
You definitely got me. Definitely
So
got me.
what about what is it for you, or is it the same thing?
I
What do you
think
want?
that I would think that I'm hoping that Chosen and Sato reconciled, right? And now Chosen is now the Sato character.
Ooh.
You know, I mean, because if that's his nephew, that means, and then he never married, you know, the girl that both Mr. Miyagi and him fought about, then that means he doesn't have any heir apparent, right? If that's his nephew, then that means he's the heir apparent, you know. And of course, the uncle would have forgiven him because he was the one that pushed him to be like that. So I'm hoping that his character does a complete 180, and now he's more at center of
Oh,
himself.
so redemption arc for Chosen.
Yeah, I think it's
Okay.
gonna be a redemption arc for Chosen. That's he could be the chosen one. No, I'm just kidding. I had to say it. I'm sorry. That's the Pinoy coming out. You know the
And what if Kamiko? What if we get more flips? Like, what if Kamiko is like evil, or what
chosen.
if Ali with the eyes super evil? And when those two
Well,
go
I
head
mean,
to head.
like I think she's like a pediatric surgeon. I mean, I don't know. Like Ali with the eye was a pediatric surgeon.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to be an evil pediatric surgeon.
And
So
well, what if Kamiko went to go study ballet? That's what we learned, and why she didn't return or whatever in
right,
in part 3. Remember, she went to Tokyo or something, right?
something like London or something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah. What if Kamiko and Chosen are married?
Ooh, that could be interesting too.
I'm just throwing it out there. What if they're married? You know, and
Yeah.
then oh yeah.
If
So
they
who knows?
found love, ooh, and then Daniel maybe still has those passions or whatever, but
Feelings?
he's happily
Yeah,
married or whatever. But
of
that
course.
it's gonna get interesting.
It's
It's
gonna get
gonna get
interesting.
interesting,
And then they named their first kid Daniel. I hope not. That would just be too much. That would be just
bro.
too much.
I'm dying for it, man. Let's let them
Yeah,
know how they can hit us up online and let us know their thoughts and everything, and then we will return with our thoughts on
of
season
course, of
3
course.
of
So
Cobra
people,
Kai.
don't forget to like, share, and subscribe this video. And if you have any predictions, any thoughts, any questions, comment down below. I will definitely be posting the first two, this review and the previous review tonight, so that you guys can watch as much of it as a recap before midnight California time, because apparently they're releasing it at 12 a.m. here in California. So I'm gonna work hard to make this out, put this out there, so you guys can watch this. And comment down below, and then Pat and I, we're gonna do our very best to answer as many as we can about it. But oh my gosh, we're so super excited about this. And then we'll definitely be watching this tonight at midnight. We're so excited. So please comment down below. Don't forget to like, hit, and subscribe, and don't forget that notification button so you're alerted to the latest video that's dropping. What's up, brother? What's your thoughts again?
I just thought about it because yes, I'm on the East Coast. You're on the West Coast. So am I getting it 3 hours ahead of you?
No, you're not. Because they came out with a list of when it's gonna come out.
Yeah.
It's gonna come out based upon 12 a.m. California time.
Oh, so unless I stay up until 3 a.m. my time,
pretty much.
That's because that's the time you're getting it. Well, it'd be my time when you're getting it.
Right, and this is why the West Coast is the best coast.
Ah! Ah! I don't know if I'm gonna stay up till 3 a.m. So you're probably gonna get it in before me.
That's fine. That's fine. I'll text you in the middle of the night saying everybody dies. You know, everybody dies.
I'm a
Chosen.
Yeah.
Chosen is just exactly as I predicted. You know?
Because I was wondering, if I watch it at my time and I start texting, but you're not gonna see it till later. Hold up. No, I'm totally forgetting the East Coast, West Coast times. All right.
Right. But apparently they're releasing it at the same time across the country. I don't know, it could be wrong, but they said 12 midnight here, 12 a.m. here, and then 3 a.m. in New York, which is your time zone, right? So that's the 3 hour. It's the same time. They're releasing it at the same time.
Okay.
So, but hey, let me give you a peace of mind. It's still the same amount of hours from now.
Yeah.
Right. That it's gonna come out. It's just just gotta wake up at 3 a.m. He says, excuse me, I gotta
exactly
and watch this real quick.
But just because most of us on the East Coast though will be sleeping though, because we'll be hungover or whatever.
You might be hungover, but I think you're gonna wake up and find out everybody's awake watching that Cobra Kai.
All right, my brother. Thank you, man. Follow Big Boy Screamador. That's my guy. That's my Kuya. I am Kuya P, aka Patrick Michael Strange. You can follow me at Strange Since 1977 and at Temple Far East and at the NRW along with my boy Big Boy and at the Nerds of Color, which is the big pop culture site that we're a part of. And also, because me and my boy are Kuyas, we're Pinoy. Shout out to Show Pal Show. That is my show where I first met the Big Boy. And with the amazing Ates, we talk about Filipino history and culture, and that we're not a monolith. There's a lot more sides to us. We're all in different occupations, and we've been doing it big for a long time. So show us love. Exactly. Show Pal Show. Check that out. Salamat Kuya. Always a pleasure doing this with you, man. And I can't wait to get into Cobra Kai season 3.
All right. We'll see each other in a couple hours. All right, brother. Everybody stay peace. Happy New Year. And Happy New Year to the people in the Philippines and the rest of the world.
Yes, sir. We out of here. Much love.
Much love.